Hey, what's up everyone? PCJ here, the Pop Culture Junkie, aka the Pro Wrestling Junkie, here today to share with you the results, spoilers, and recap on the 2018 WWE Super Showdown. It was just live this morning. It started at 4 a.m. my time. I don't know what time it started for you, but 4 a.m. for me. Of course, this was held in Australia, so big time change difference there. So this was a show put on in Australia for the people of Australia, of course, and it's been somewhat like 16 years since WWE held a show there, so that's a very long time to have to wait, and hopefully, they delivered, at least to the expectations of what the fans were hoping for and hoping to experience with the show. So we kick off. We've got Renee Young and Corey Graves, along with Michael Cole at ringside doing the commentary. I really feel, honestly, for this kind of special, just give it to Corey Graves and Renee Young, okay? You don't need Michael Cole at every single show doing commentary, okay? He ruins so many matches, in my opinion, with his over-the-top, very corporate-ish talk. I really want to just hear some new voice commentary, but it is what it is. So we kick off the show, and we have the SmackDown Tag Team title match of the New Day defending the titles against The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro. This was a fun match. Lots of good action right away from the top. Kofi Kingston, of course, very athletic individual. Lots of great moves. But this, again, is more or less just a glorified house show. So there's not going to be that many title changes that I was expecting to see right away anyways. So the match goes not too long. A little bit of back and forth, but not really a whole lot of drama where you thought any moment now someone else is going to get the win or kick out, whatever. No real suspense, in my opinion. So on the outside of the ring, Kofi Kingston connects with Trouble in Paradise to Sheamus. Inside the ring, Xavier Woods connects with a backstabber on Cesaro, but he holds him, and Kofi Kingston comes off the top rope with a coup de grace, basically stealing Finn Balor's move, and they get the pin, and they retain the title. So predicted there wasn't going to be a tag title change, and it didn't happen. So the New Day still your champions, but again, this is not your typical pay-per-view or network special. This is all a network special, so don't expect a whole lot of title changes here, right? Following that up, we go straight to the Women's SmackDown Championship title match. We have Charlotte challenging Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship title. This was a good match. These two are awesomely talented, and I enjoyed the match. Becky Lynch played the role perfectly, okay? She had a lot of good offense at one point, but then Charlotte continues to come back. At one point, Charlotte has the figure 8 locked in, and Becky Lynch grabs the championship belt, which she tried to walk out with earlier, because she was like, you know what, screw this, I'm going to leave. I'm the champ. You have to beat me. I don't have to beat you. But Charlotte, of course, threw her back in the ring. But while Charlotte has the figure 8 locked in, Becky Lynch reaches over and grabs the belt from the side of the ring and just smacks the belt repeatedly until the ref calls for a DQ. So Charlotte gets the win, but by DQ, Becky Lynch is still the women's champion. Okay, next up we go to Elias and Kevin Owens in the ring already. They do their typical Elias opening and then take turns taking shots at the people there, the country, etc. And just as they start to kind of tear into their upcoming opponents of Cena and Lashley, here comes Bobby Lashley without Lio Rush. So I guess they couldn't afford to fit him in an overhead compartment or something to bring him with them to Australia. So Lashley comes out on his own. He gets about midway down the ramp, turns around, points to the stage, and here comes Cena. Gets his typical big pop, mixed with some boos, of course. But here comes John Cena looking like a soccer dad, just dropped his kids off for practice on a Saturday morning. I mean, he has definitely trimmed down, and he's still got the muscle, but he's a lot leaner than he's looked in forever. And his hair, first thing I thought was, are you coming back as JBL Jr.? Because that's what he looked like. The hair was strange to see, and it's crazy. I mean, Cena's been out of the ring for a few months now. He's been doing movies. They mentioned on commentary he's been in Asia for the last few months doing projects with Jackie Chan. So, yeah, Cena hasn't been around for a few months now. But they come in, they get in the ring, get the ring announcements and so forth. It's a back and forth match, mainly between Bobby Lashley and Owens and Elias. Cena is on the ring apron the entire match. They're basically building him up for the hot tag, and that's exactly what happens. He gets the hot tag. He gets in the ring. Cena connects with the AA to Elias. He does some type of Dragon Ball Z type, power up, and then punches Elias in the face and gets the pinfall 1-2-3. Afterwards, Cena gets on the mic, thanks the audience for allowing him to be there to be part of the show, and to let them know that no matter what's going on right now, what the future may hold, he's focused on the now, and who knows? We're not sure when we're going to see Cena again. He probably won't be around until Mania next year, so who knows when we'll see him again. But the crowd, of course, no matter what, they started to boo him in the match, and as the match ended, of course. But once he got on the mic, just like Cena can always do, he wins them over, and they pop for him, and that was a wrap for that match. Kind of crazy because Cena was there for a match that had no build up from him. He was not there on Raw at all to build this matchup, and Bobby Lashley was in the match the whole time. But honestly, he's an afterthought again. Cena is the one you're going to remember. Unfortunately, Owens and Elias had to take the job here, but I mean, did you see anyone getting the win otherwise? I didn't. So after that, we get a very weird commercial where Naomi shows up, looks like she's walking into a hotel room. There's rose petals scattered across the floor. She's following a little trail through the bedroom into the restroom, and there she finds her husband in the bathtub in a bubble bath, eating a 4-in-20 classic meat pie, and that was the whole thing. It's some kind of treat that they sell in Australia, and they did a commercial there to promote their product. Odd. All right, next matchup is the SmackDown Tag Team match of the Iconics local heroes versus the team of the Empress and the Glow of Asuka versus Naomi. This match was shocked by the results, honestly. The Iconics pick up the win after they do a double team knee to the face to Naomi and pick up the pin. Asuka is outside the ring, of course, and that's it. They get the win, and it's surprising because usually when you're in your hometown, WWE makes sure you get buried or pinned or lose, something like that. But Iconics pick up the win, and we go on from there. Who knows what this means for Asuka and as well as Naomi. All right, well, we are midway through the show, but we are already at the main event. That's right, this is the WWE Championship title match. No DQ, no countout. There must be a winner. AJ Styles defending the title against Samoa Joe. Build up to this show, this was the match with the most heat, and it delivered on that, okay? It was a great match, lots of physicality. But if you're going to promote a show or promote a match where you're saying no DQ, no countout, okay, I'm expecting some mayhem, some brutality, and as much as they were very physical just in the one-on-one aspect, I was expecting some extra elements to be brought into the match, such as, chairs and tables and ladders and other things. Yes, we had a chair brought in at one point. Samoa Joe got hit by the chair a couple times, and then later on he puts a table in the ring, and AJ ends up putting him through the table, which injured his leg a little bit. His left knee on Samoa Joe. And that was about it, though. I was expecting a lot more. Again, yes, this is just a very overblown house show, so you're not going to get the typical pay-per-view blow-off ending like you would on other, main pay-per-views. Had this been Survivor Series, the Rumble, SummerSlam, something like that, yes, we probably would have had a lot more outside elements brought into the ring. But the no DQ, no count out stipulation, it just didn't deliver as much as I thought it should be able to. But that being said, the match was good. Many times Samoa Joe looked like he was going to get the win with the coquina clutch being applied, but he could never cinch his legs around AJ. He would get the sleeper hold part and take him to the mat, but he would never get it completely locked in. AJ was always able to get out of it somehow. In the end, AJ Styles rolls Samoa Joe into the calf crusher, and Samoa Joe tapped out. AJ Styles is still your winner. Now, something interesting happened at the end of the match, and I don't know if this was part of the storyline or just exhaustion, but AJ, after he won the match, he's celebrating, he's holding the title up. You see Samoa Joe being helped by the referee to get out of there, and after he's holding the title and celebrating, AJ just kind of drops to the mat, like, showing how exhausted he is, and maybe he's just doing a great job of selling the match and how much it took out of him to defeat Samoa Joe, and that's fine, that's great. Not very many stars actually go the extra mile to really sell, and he AJ Styles is great at that. But then he's like laying on the mat for a little bit, then sits up just holding the title. I don't know. Not sure if we were supposed to read anything else into that, or again, just a great sales job. But the match was good. This was definitely the match of the night so far. Next up, we have the Raw Women's 6-person tag team match. Bella Twins with the Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus the Riot Squad. And thankfully, Liv Morgan has returned to in-ring action following the concussion she unfortunately suffered due to Brie Bella, kicking her in the face a few times. But yeah, so Liv Morgan has rejoined the Riot Squad in the ring. Now, first thing I want to point out that I haven't pointed out since the show started is the arena is a huge one, and there's like 70,000 plus advertised as the attendance. So it's a big arena. It's a big stadium, okay? And it's similar to a WrestleMania where you have this long entrance ramp, and many times now throughout the night, superstars are making their way down the ramp, and they're barely getting halfway, 3/4 of the way down, and their opponent's music is hitting, or their tag partner's music is hitting, something like that. And it just seems like they really needed to have people running to the ring, or maybe go bring out those carts they used at WrestleMania 3 and 6 to wheel superstars down to the ring faster. Because it just seemed like people were trying to rush to get to the ring before their music cut off, and then their opponent's music started playing. Because the Bellas were like barely down the way, and then Ronda's music hits. Riot Squad was barely halfway down, and then that's when the Bella Twins' music was playing. So it seemed kind of really having to rush a lot. So the match starts off with Nikki and Ronda kind of communicating back and forth, going like, "Hey, I want to start. I'll start the match, etc." Almost like they're planting the seeds of the start for their upcoming feud that we're going to see eventually, maybe at Evolution, who knows. So Nikki starts the match, and Ronda is on the apron. Nikki makes a tag, but only to Brie. Brie and Nikki continuously tag each other in without getting Ronda the tag. Finally, because Brie gets knocked off the apron, Nikki gets the tag made to Ronda. Ronda comes in, cleans house. She ends up putting both Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan in the armbar submission at the same time to get the double tap out, and they get the win. So naturally, of course, Bellas and Ronda Rousey get the win. Ronda celebrates with the title, holding it above her head, and then the Bellas are just hugging her, and that's that. So not a whole lot more happened, but you can see they're starting to plant the seeds with the inevitable heel turn. The Bellas are better as heels anyway, so I'm expecting them to turn on Ronda at some point on the next Raw, or maybe the next couple weeks. Okay, next up we have the WWE Cruiserweight Championship title match. Cedric Alexander defending against Buddy Murphy. Now, I did not know this, and I mentioned this in my predictions video. I hardly watch 205. It doesn't, grab my attention a lot. So I don't know that much about all the participants that are in 205 Live. I did not realize Buddy Murphy was from Melbourne. I didn't know he was going to be a hometown hero going into this match. So when they announced it, of course, the crowd went ape that, they have, from Melbourne, Australia. Okay, so crowd's already going to be behind him in this match. I got to say, this was a very entertaining match. It was a great match. Lots of good high spots, lots of cruiserweight moments, of course. Not just your typical flippity-flop stuff, though. There was actually some good moments in this match. So I really enjoyed the match. And surprise, surprise, Buddy Murphy connects with what I looked like as a reverse angle slam, really. And he gets the pinfall on Cedric Alexander and wins the title. He is your new Cruiserweight champion. I was really shocked that we got a title change on this show. I did not expect them to actually change the title, but great job, and it definitely got the crowd pumped up even more, and it was a good spot, too, because we're just a little bit past halfway through the show, and there's been a lot of action already, so the crowd could have been already getting a little tired, but that definitely got the crowd more energetic to get to see a title change. So I give them props for that. And great job, too, because I hadn't seen much of this Buddy Murphy character, and I'm very impressed. I'm looking forward to seeing more. All right, next up we have the Raw Men's 6-man tag match of The Shield, made up, of course, Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman. Now, for me, this match kind of had a lot of stop-and-go moments. It seemed like it picked up some momentum, and then it just stopped in its place. The match starts off with Seth Rollins basically all alone. Every time he tries to make a tag, Ziggler and McIntyre would attack Roman and Ambrose and leave them laid out on the outside, so Rollins can't make a tag. It seemed like they gave each Shield member a chance to shine on their own. Rollins was alone in the ring for a while, then it was Ambrose, and then finally he gets the tag to Roman. It seemed like forever for Roman to get in the match, which, not that I'm complaining, it just seems like that was the blueprint for the match for the night, was to just have each Shield member have a little bit of moments in the ring by themselves. We did get a little bit more of a tease on whether or not Ambrose is going to stick with his Shield brothers or not. There was a spot at one point where Roman accidentally connected with a Superman punch to Ambrose on the outside of the ring, and he's in shock, of course, and that led people to wonder, oh, is Ambrose going to take that as, hey, I need to start fighting back and stand up for myself. Later on in the match, this was a big moment. Rollins is laid out in the ring, and Strowman is in his tag corner. He climbs up to the top rope and tries to execute a splash from the top rope, and you could tell he does not get up there very often. His legs were shaking. I was really thinking he was going to fall or something bad was going to happen. He managed to, connect the splash. Just, he missed Rollins, but at least he landed the splash without hurting himself. Later on, we have Dean Ambrose is hazy on the outside of the ring. Braun is setting up to do a charge, and just as he's about to hit Ambrose, Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere and spears Braun right through the barricade, basically sacrificing himself to save his brother. Good way to make up for the accidental Superman punch from earlier. In the end, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose get the win after Ambrose connects with the Dirty Deeds to Ziggler and gets the pin. And those are your winners, the Shield. So saw that coming, but honestly, I really was expecting, hopefully, for Ziggler, Drew, and Braun to get a win here. They need that. Braun, unfortunately, man, just if you watch this match again, he's been reduced to just a bumbling, naive fool. I mean, yeah, he's a heel, so he can't be smart, I guess, or something. I don't know, because this is not your, indestructible monster we had for the last couple years. Now he's a lot more vulnerable. It's just a shame of how much they did of great job of building him up to be this unbelievable monster, babyface, and now he's losing 6-man tag matches and other things. It's a shame. But the Shield picks up the win, and we'll see what happens from here with the Shield as far as staying as a unit or not. Our next matchup is a #1 contenders match. Winner gets a shot at the WWE Championship. It is Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Of course, this matchup is 8 years in the making ever since both Bryan and Miz were part of the original NXT show. This is before NXT became Ohio Valley Developmental Wrestling Program. We get the introductions. The match kicks off. Miz begins attacking Daniel in his ribcage. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale. Bryan turns around, rolls him into a small package. The ref makes the count. 1, 2, 3. Bell rings. Bryan gets out of the ring and starts doing his yes chant, and that's it. The match ends. It seemed like less than 3 minutes. Unbelievable. I don't know if they had to cut it short because of time, because we still have the Undertaker Triple H match, but it seems like they still have an hour of time left. I don't know how long this next match is going to be, but yeah, even the crowd was sitting there just getting into the match. The match had just started, and the ref makes the 3 count, and they're almost like, oh, wait, what? That was it? That's it? The match is over? What happened here? So yeah, that is it. It's a few minutes into the match. We get a small package, and Bryan gets the win. And then we see AJ Styles in the back watching on a monitor, and you see him, eyeing Daniel Bryan, celebrating. And now we know we're going to get a WWE Championship title match, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan at some point in the near future. All right, that brings us to the final match of the night, the main event, the most hyped match of the entire show. For the last time ever, Triple H versus The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels in the corner of Triple H. Kane, the new mayor, in the corner of The Undertaker. We get the ring introductions, and during the introductions for the match, we are informed that this match has now been changed to a no disqualification match, and we kick it off. Now, Triple H and Undertaker, of course, legends, been around for over 20 years plus in the WWE alone, and they've had classic matches before, whether it's been straight-up matches in singles competition, tag matches, championship title matches, Hell in a Cell matches, so many different kinds. Except now, of course, they're both neighboring around that 50-year mark, and they aren't spring chickens anymore. So within the first few minutes of some hard hitting, they completely slow it down. The match does go very slow at a lot of parts, and it's, hello, Undertaker, as much as I love seeing The Undertaker, and I've been a fan of his ever since he debuted in 1990, he needs to retire. He once gave an interview saying that when he can no longer do what he does at the level he does, then it's time for him to ride off in the sunset. And it's been that time, because this is not the Undertaker that we all grew up watching. This is not even the Undertaker of 10 years ago, okay? His body is beaten and broken. He's been through a lot, and he's earned the retirement, okay? It's great to see him do his entrance and be part of the shows, but it's just not the same Undertaker, so it's hard to watch sometimes. Now, this match, of course, having the no DQ stipulation added at the last minute definitely helped, because it gave them an excuse. Anytime they had to slow it down, catch their breath, anything like that, they were able to sell any kind of damage they were taking. So chair shots, any kind of hardcore stuff that was brought into it, that added to it to make it to where you're like, you know what, they're going a few minutes in between punches and kicks and hits and whatnot, but that's because each one of the hits and kicks and whatnot are, twice as hard, twice as strong, whatever. So we do get a lot of teasing at the early part with Shawn maybe trying to help out Triple H or at least cause a distraction. Now, the match has been changed to a no DQ match. Kane and Shawn can easily just start jumping in the ring and fighting each other, or fighting The Undertaker and Triple H and causing all kinds of interference, and it wouldn't matter. Kane, for the longest time, just stands outside the ring. He tries to shoo off Shawn Michaels a few times, but really, dude, it's no DQ. Just to get in there and start punching and kicking, tombstoning and choke slamming. Okay, there's no need to hold back. We get a few different spots in the match. We have one moment, Triple H and Shawn Michaels set up a table outside the ring. Shawn chin musics Kane onto the table, and then Triple H does an elbow drop off the ring apron. That was pretty cool. Undertaker and Triple H fight into the crowd. They go off into an area where there's a lot of the technical production stuff, and Taker tries to choke Triple H with some cables. They make it back over to the ring announce area, and then they battle some more outside the ring. Steel chairs brought in. Undertaker, good God, he hits with authority Triple H on the back several times throughout the match. I mean, you feel it. Then we get Undertaker teasing to put the chair on Triple H's neck to where you stomp it. And Shawn Michaels gets on the ring apron begging Undertaker, don't do it, don't do it. And that's when Triple H is able to get out of the move, and instead he puts Undertaker in that. He jumps off the turnbuckle and connects. Undertaker sells it very well. Triple H goes for a pin, and just as he's about to get the 3 count, Kane pulls the ref out of the ring. Shawn Michaels brings out the sledgehammer to try to assist. Triple H and Undertaker battle back and forth some more. Undertaker gets Triple H in the triangle hold, but Triple H ends up choking him with the sledgehammer. Finally, Shawn Michaels comes in and interferes, connects with chin music. Triple H connects with the pedigree. 1, 2, 3, we get a pinfall, and Triple H is your winner. He defeats The Undertaker. Afterwards, Shawn, Triple H, Kane, and Undertaker all stand up in unison, almost like the curtain call. They all stand up, raising each other's hands, celebrating. It's like, hey, we had a match, nothing personal, it was all business. Let's celebrate. Everyone, raise their hands. Just then, Undertaker and Kane turn and look at each other, and then they drop Shawn and Triple H. Triple H gets tombstone. Shawn Michaels gets punched by Kane and thrown out of the ring over to the announce table and choke slamming him through the announce table. And they leave Shawn and Triple H just on their backs. Obviously, this is all just leading up to what's going to be announced probably on Raw this week, that at Crown Jewel, Shawn Michaels will come back out of retirement, and it'll be DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. That's what it's going to happen. So yeah, that's the wrap. That's the show. That's the entire Super Showdown show. How was it? It was a fun show, but like I said at the beginning of this was a glorified house show. It's nothing more than that. It did do a few things to further storylines that I didn't expect, so I'm proud of that, and I'm happy about that. We got a little more stuff going with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Now we have a #1 contender shot at Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. That's been announced for Crown Jewel as well. We had a Cruiserweight title change. That was very good. And we got some seeds of more of the Bellas possibly turning on Ronda. And we also got a little more seeds of what's going to happen with Shield and Ambrose. So we got that. So a little more happened storyline-wise than I expected in comparison to, say, the Saudi Arabia show earlier this year at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where practically nothing really happened. Now, as always, on my recaps and prediction videos, I always send out a tweet letting everyone know I'm going to be recording this. And if you have any questions or topics that you want me to address in the video, I will do so. And I have a couple of questions here. Josh Floberg says, what was the best match of the night, or best match of the show? For me, it was AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. That was my favorite match. Which match surprised me the most? I would say the Undertaker Triple H one. I didn't expect them to go as long as they did, and I didn't know how they were going to sell it convincingly, and I thought it did what it could do with who you have. You have guys from the Attitude Era main eventing a show that really should have been headlined by your current roster guys. But other than that, the match itself was very entertaining because you have 4 of the greatest of all time. So you should expect a good match, and should be entertaining. But again, it was a little sketchy wondering how they're going to sell this match based on all the hype that they were giving it leading into the show. So there you go, guys and gals. There's my recap and spoilers and results for the 2018 live from Australia WWE Super Showdown. I appreciate you listening to the recap. I hope you'll check out some more recaps and reviews that I've got on the channel here if you're a first-time viewer. And we'll talk to you next time we have another pay-per-view or network special to watch and discuss. All right, everybody. Thanks as always. I'll see you next time. This is PCJ, the Pop Culture Junkie. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm signing out.